Hello, welcome back to VopSays. In this video, we'll be explaining how taxes and things work for UK streamers and YouTubers. So, first of all, if you earn less than £12,570 in a single tax year, you don't need to pay tax on any of this. Make sure that the HMRC has the right info to calculate if you do need to pay tax or not. If you work a full-time job for an employer, they'll likely have done this for you. If you earn money yourself on the side, you will need to submit a self-assessment tax return. How do I pay tax? If you're registering as a self-employed for this line of work for the first time, under the description of business, we suggest putting online streaming professional or online content creator or esports professional or whatever you do. Make sure you keep a list of incomings and outgoings associated with your work throughout the year. You can do this via a spreadsheet, for example. Then when it comes to paying tax, you'll already have the figures and you'll submit your own tax return. Also, keep any invoices or receipts you have too. You should ideally retain them for 5 years. It's a good idea to keep everything in a folder or a drawer, somewhere where you can easily access them and get them and refer to payment should you need to in the future. Don't forget, you can also claim certain things back on your tax return. For example, if you work from home, you may be able to receive tax deductions on things like electricity bills and so on. If you want to, you can always seek advice from another opinion by contacting a financial expert or an accountant. Now, some other parts here. You don't need to pay tax on the cut that YouTube or Twitch takes from ad revenue, so that you only pay tax on the cut that you get, okay? If money is received in dollars or any other foreign currency, you can use the exchange rates on the HMRC website, which will be linked all down in the sources down below. So, how much tax do I need to pay? This was referenced in part 1 for the tax brackets. I'll just add in that section again. Here are the tax brackets. For the first £12,570 of income, you pay 0% tax. The gross pay is £12,570. Next tax bracket is 20%. You are in this bracket if you earn a maximum of £37,700 in income above the tax-free allowance. So the maximum gross pay you can get within this bracket is £50,270 a year. 40%. You are in this bracket if you earn £37,701 to £137,430 above the tax-free allowance. The gross pay within this bracket is from including and from £50,271 to £150,000 a year. The last bracket currently. 45% tax rate. You are in this bracket if you earn more than £137,430 above the tax-free allowance. Gross pay is basically if you earn over £150,000 a year. Alright, next section. What if you are a minor? If you're aged under 18 and earn more than £12,570 in a single year, you'll need to pay tax on this. If you're not sure how to pay tax yourself, you can get someone else to submit a tax return on your behalf, acting as an agent or accountant for you. Ultimately, you're still responsible for keeping records of your total income and expenditure, as that's the information you'll need to submit a tax return or provide to someone else to do it on your behalf. What if you have a full-time job and earn money from streaming on the side? You may need to pay tax on whatever extra you earn. The first £1,000 of income from self-employment counts as your trading allowance, and you won't need to pay tax on that. But for anything more than that, you will. Trading allowance basically covers some expenses. So for example, if you earned £20,000 and had expenses of £3,000, then the trading allowance would not be worth claiming. Instead, a claim relating to actual expenses incurred would be more beneficial. When do you need to pay tax? You will need to pay tax for revenue made in the year prior by January 31st. Bear in mind, the tax year is not the same as the calendar year. The tax year runs from April 6th to April 5th. So for example, tax for income you generated between April 6th, 2019 and April 5th, 2020 will need to be paid by midnight of January 31st, 2021. That's the online deadline. For paper submissions, the deadline is midnight October 31st. So in this sense, you're doing the tax returns for the previous year, as in the tax year that's just gone. What if I work freelance for different companies or events throughout the year? Freelance work can be contract based or invoice based. Keep track of your incomings and outgoings and make sure you read over any agreements with your employer or hirer beforehand to see how tax is paid. If you're registering as a self-employed streamer or individual for the first time, you can put something like Esports Professional or Online Streaming Professional under description of business. I hope you enjoyed the trilogy and I hope you found these videos informative and helpful. You have been watching VopSays and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.